All right, everybody. I just wanted to finish this up with a short little video about two-column proofs. The first video talks about how to determine if two triangles are similar, and this is very similar. It's just a different way to think about it, or a way to organize your thoughts. So with a two-column proof, and you could read this on the top if you'd like, but I'll just go straight into an example. The first column is what you know. It's your statement. And then the right side of your second column is how you know. So for example, if we have this first statement, that is saying that angle CBD, so CBD is this angle, is congruent to angle KLD, which would be this angle. And so what would be our reasoning? How do we know that those are the same, that they're congruent? Well, it's given to you. It's written there. We have 78 degrees and 78 degrees. So that could be one of our things that we could write would be given. All right. The next row, it has the reason as the reflexive property. So again, if you remember, the reflexive property is where you end up having like a triangle inside of a triangle, where both of those triangles are the same. Like if we were to draw these separately, this would have angle D, and then our bigger triangle, didn't draw it very great, but this would still be angle D, right? So they're sharing the same angle, and that's the reflexive property. So we just need to write down the statement saying which angles are the same or congruent. So we could write angle KDL, so that's this angle for the small triangle, and that is congruent to angle CDB. So CDB. And we know that those angles are the same because of the reflexive property. All right, so we have two pairs of congruent angles, so we can say that triangle BDC is similar to triangle LDK by angle similarity theorem. Okay, so again, it's very similar to what we did above. Maybe this part is the thing that's a little different. Usually, maybe we didn't have examples of like how we know, like our reasoning. But you can do it. I believe in you. Okay, so let's do a couple more. So here, our reasoning here is vertical angles. So vertical angles are these two angles, right? We know that they're congruent, so we just need to write that down. So angle QKP, so that's this first angle, is congruent to angle MKL. All right, so, and again, you can look at these triangles and you could probably figure out what similarity theorem we're going to use. So for like this one, we have two sides. We're probably going to do side angle side. So you could even fill these in before you even answer all the others. Okay, so side angle side, and then we just need to answer our reasoning for this second row. Okay, again, the left side, this is just telling us which sides are corresponding. So we know that KL, let me erase this just for a second. So we have KL corresponds to KQ. And then we have KM, should be this side, corresponds with KP. Okay, so to actually show if they are proportional, all we need to do is plug in those values and see if they are the same. So it's very similar to what you did before. So here we would do KL is 156 over 65, and then we would do 84 over 35, and we would use our calculator, and we'd end up seeing that we'd get, I think it's 4.2 and 4.2. Sorry, 2.4. Saying it backwards, okay? So we know that those sides actually are proportional, okay? All right, let's do this last one. I have the last ones already filled in, and you can have a look at that if you'd like, okay? So let's look. What is given here? Again, what's given is going to be something that you can see that maybe oftentimes isn't there, like these two red triangles, okay? Again, that tells us that these two side lengths are parallel, okay? So we would say that TU is parallel to side KJ or JK. All right, and that's given. And we need to know that, otherwise we wouldn't be able to find maybe enough angles to show similarity. All right, so next off, we've got angle JKL. So JKL is this angle, is congruent to UTL. So that would be this angle. And how do we know that those are the same? Well, if you remember, we talked about this on our first lesson about two parallels, lines cut by a transversal. These two angles are corresponding angles. Okay. Next row is the reflexive property. We already talked about that. That's where you have the angle inside of an angle. So we could say angle ULT is congruent to angle JLK. By the reflexive property, now we have two pairs of angles that are congruent. So we would use the theorem angle similarity. All right. The last one is we have all four sides. So if it does work, we would use side similarity. But when you end up setting up the proportions, they don't end up being the same, and so they are not similar, those two triangles. Okay, you could fill in the similarity statement, this statement, setting up those proportions, very similar to what we did here at the top of my screen. But I think your reasoning over here would be enough just to say they're not similar, their sides aren't proportional. Okay? All right, well, if you have any other questions, please feel free to come in and get some help. I'm there for you. Okay, see ya.